Stop using church intimidation, control and manipulation. Jezebel and all them spirits fall back, not trying to hear it. Go with Jesus, walk in peace. On your pew can sit that beast that we're fighting in the world. I'm that JC Supergirl, Jesus Christ, belt of truth, arm of God, I'm slaying you. Power of the word, two-edged sword. MC Heaven rocks for her Lord. Thought they crept in unaware, didn't see the gatekeeper standing right there. Not getting down with your tactics, undoctrinal practice.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome again to the Crystal Jones Show. It's the show that's all about life's balance. And I'm your talk show host, Crystal Jones. I greet you in the name of Ahaya Bahashem Yeshaya Warawak Kwadash. Let me tell you how you can watch my show every week on Saturdays from 7 to 8 p.m. on BronxNet.org. You could press the button that says Channel 951 2137 or watch from your TV, the Inspire channel. Also, subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos on YouTube, the Crystal Jones TV show. Go on there, let's grow. Thank you all for that have joined the channel. Also on Facebook, Crystal Jones Pictures and Videos. Go on there and check me out. Instagram, you see daily I put up biblical quotes from the scriptures that will encourage you. And also go to HebrewConnect.tv. All right. So the scripture of today, remember, we're talking about Moses, who's now the new leader for the Israelites, right? We're getting ready to cross over that famous crossing, the Red Sea, leaving Egypt, right? But of course, just like in America, when we were leaving the plantation, Pharaoh don't want to let the people go, right? So back in that day and time, Pharaoh's people felt like, well, they thought we were coming back after we did the Passover uh, feast or dinner that we had the night before that we left. So they thought we were coming back, but the Lord didn't plan for that. He was like, no, you're out of here. We're out of here now. Once you leave Egypt, that's it. The Lord was going to bring us into the land of Canaan, right? So the Egyptians were under the mindset that we were coming back. And when they saw that we've been gone for a couple of days, they were like, well, where are the Israelites? Why are they not coming back? Let's go out and get them, make them come back and make their life even harder. This is the same thing that went down in America when they so-called freed us off of these slave plantations and our people came up north. They would send slave catchers after us and they would reward the people in the north if they turned us in to the slave catchers, okay, so that they could bring us back on the plantations. So same nonsense, a different day, right? And the same people, okay, because back then, remember when we first came in on the slave boats and whatnot, the slave boats had the name of our tribes on it. So they knew who we were. They knew we weren't not no offense to African people, but they knew we weren't African people. We were from the continent of Africa, but we were Israelites. So they've always had this fear of us, and even to today, you see they're constantly after us for telling the truth about who we are, right? So here we go. This is the same type of nonsense, just a different day and time. So in Jasher, which is the apocryphal book that was taken out of the Bible. So the book of Jasher, the 81st chapter, the 24th verse says, and the whole of this camp went and pursued the children of Israel to bring them back to Egypt, just like the slave catchers pursued after us here on the north, in the northern area of America. And they reached them encamping by the Red Sea. All right, so the Egyptians, came after us. They wanted to try to bring us back into bondage, and they caught up with us at the Red Sea. That's the time where God was going to make that transition for us, right? Same thing when we came up north, the Lord made that transition for us that we would be over here in the north and able to escape slavery, to some degree, because some of our people did get sent back there, but eventually they basically took us. We basically came off the slave plantation for the most part. I mean, there are other plantations that are in place today, like incarceration, right? So, same thing, a different day, same people, the Israelites. Okay, so keep that in mind. Moses is the new leader. He's taking over. Him and Aaron is his assistant, and they're leading us to the promised land. Just like today, our Israelite leaders are getting that word from the Lord, and they're opening it up to us in the scriptures, and we're able to free our people that will listen and will understand. The same thing is going on today. They just doing it in different ways. Okay, so it's the same thing, a different day. All right, so now we are going to go on to today's news. And in today's news, I didn't even put up the video because it's so disgusting that these people are just seriously ignorant in their ways. Handcuffs in hallways. Now, I've been sharing with you all that this is how they groom our children from the age of 5 now to be ready for incarceration. Okay, so I've been trying to share with you all that we need to homeschool our children, start getting our own schools, and do our own thing, just like the other nations doing. There's nothing wrong with it. We need to stand up, stop being afraid, don't take no for an answer. No, they don't need to be teaching these kids, and this is the nonsense that they do. All right, now handcuffs in hallways, right? This here is a crime. Okay, mother of a handcuffed 5-year-old speaks at a news station. She looks at child arrest in Maryland schools. Now, apparently, this nonsense is going on in Maryland like crazy. All right. Now, this here is Baltimore. Each year, hundreds of students nationwide are handcuffed at school for minor disciplinary actions. You think it's for minor disciplinary actions, but they want to give your kid a record for as early as they can. Okay? This was why I told y'all, be careful with the care of your children. They shouldn't be receiving 4, 5, and 6 what could I say, medical treatments at one time when they're babies and when they're, young toddlers, because their bodies will react to it in a negative way. And then they have all of these children that have, you notice all of these, especially our children, have all of these mental disabilities and things like that now. And that's what that comes from. A lot of these medical procedures are not natural for people, period. None, nevertheless, children. So stop letting people just give your children medical procedures because they say so. No, you say so and say no. Okay, just like they used to have that slogan, say no to drugs. Okay, no. All right. Now, each year, hundreds of students nationwide are handcuffed at school for minor disciplinary actions with an outsized impact on, guess what, communities? Black and Hispanic, black men, meaning basically Israelite, and Hispanic as well. Okay, the Cuban, the Mexicans, the Cubans, okay, the Puerto Rico, the people of color, those are they're Israelites, whether they know it or not. So, isn't it strange that those are always the two groups that has the worst impact of things on? Black and Hispanic children and kids with disabilities. Why do they have these disabilities? Number one, sometimes the medical procedures that are given to their parents during pregnancy. Okay, both male and female. These things that they have gotten us to trust that, oh, if you take this, that should help you with this and that and the other. And it's not natural. Things that are not natural are not made for our bodies. They're not. And we have got to get away from that nonsense because it causes so many after effects later on in life. All right. So, Black and Hispanic children and kids with disabilities, according to an analysis of data by CBS News Investigations. That data showed Maryland had one of the highest school arrest rates in the country. Why are you arresting kids? There's something wrong with that. Parents, wake up. Smell the coffee. It's burning. Stop it. All right. Now, this particular group, investigator Mike, I'm not going to say his name, takes you inside a disturbing case where a 5-year-old child was handcuffed. 5 years old? That makes sense to you? No. A 5-year-old child was handcuffed and interviewed his mother for the first time as part of the nationwide handcuffs and hallways investigation. They even got a name for it, handcuffs and hallways. All right. Now, the Montgomery County case recently settled and dates to January of 2020. The release of body camera video led to nationwide outrage. I couldn't even watch that with the way they were handcuffing this little boy like he was some criminal or something like that. 5 years old. Shame on you. You're disgusting for doing this to these kids. That video begins with officers encountering the child hiding by a car. Why is he hiding? Scared of you. Brute beasts. The Bible speaks of that. Wickedness. The child is hiding by a car after teacher said he had a tantrum in the class. Oh my Lord. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Close the earth down. The boy had a tantrum. Close it down, y'all. Oh, help. These are who you sending your kids to school with. Idiots. Stop sending your kids to these schools. These people are not interested in their education. They're interested in incarceration. All right. Now, the teacher said he had a tantrum in the classroom and ran out of his elementary school in Silver Spring. They placed him in the police cruiser and brought him back. They put him in the police car because he had a tantrum in the school. All right. The video, more than 50 minutes long. 50 minutes it took adults to, they probably from what I saw, he's terrorized. They terrorized the child. If you get a chance, go look at that video. I didn't even put up. It's disgusting. Shame on you. You're disgusting for doing it. The video, more than 50 minutes long, shows an officer screaming at the crying child. The officer screaming, "What a dummy." And another officer grabbing him and calling him names. Calling him names, right? One officer said, "Crate him." And he was acting like a beast. Crate him like an animal and tell him to acting like a beast. This is what they did to our people in slavery, y'all. I can't even tell February's coming up, y'all, and I'm going in on how we was treated back then. I'm going in on the wicked things that these people did to us. All right. Another officer said, "We need to have a conversation with his mom. This is like a little Chucky doll." Chucky? Calling if he turned into Chucky, it's because of the things y'all have done to him. That's it. The spirits that's coming from y'all are the spirits that's got to be up on that child, because he's around the school every day and all of that, and whatever else, God knows what else they doing to him in that school. So that spirit jumped off of them into him, had to be, because he comes here. Children are born and they come into this world not knowing anything. So if they got spirits, they got it from you. All right. Now, roughly 39 minutes into the video, an officer briefly handcuffs the child. You handcuffed a 5-year-old. because oh my Lord. When you get older and want to make your own decisions, this is what somebody who's supposed to have wisdom said. When you get older and want to make your own decisions, you know what's going to be your best friend. These are. So they're indoctrinating your children, little Israelite children, Black, Mexican, Puerto Rican, children of color, Israelite children. They're indoctrinating this into them, telling him that these are going to be his best friend. Handcuffs. Handcuffs. All right. You know what these are. These are handcuffs, he said. He said this to a 5-year-old. This is supposed to be somebody who's in law enforcement. Now, let me tell you, not all law enforcement does that. Not all, but too many of them do. They have too many that should not be in law enforcement. That's a even bigger problem, right? The handcuffing happened after the child's mom arrived and he had calmed down. We are not identifying the child at the request of his mother and her attorneys. They should not mention the child's name anyway, because they could definitely be sued for that. Like, how stupid can you be? You know, a 5-year-old. I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk like this, but it just disgusts me, right? So I was afraid when I saw the handcuffs placed on my son. His mother said, I wanted to react, but I don't have money to get an attorney. And then I'm arrested for putting my hands on a police officer. So they do this to invoke a bad situation. They're going to terrorize and traumatize the child. When the mother comes, the plan is to arrest her so that they could put your child in child services and you can't get the child back, because the courts are going to work along with child services to keep your child from you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then they're going to put your child, 5 years old or whatever, in some type of detention place. All right. And the child grows up learning how to defend himself from all these other children who are spaced out because of a bad system that demonizes Israelite children. All right. Call us Black, whatever y'all think you know, but we're Israelites. So this is all meant against us, against our children. All right. Now, you know, the mother, you know, tried to keep herself calm. Thank God for that. This is the first time she's spoken publicly about the case. And it, you know, there's going to be a settlement in the county that she lives in. You just think negative, like you don't have legs to stand on. These are officers. They have a badge. I froze. I didn't know what to do, she told the investigator. She said she never knew all of what her son experienced until he told her after suffering nightmares. Now they don't care that this child suffers nightmares, but guess what? These are the same people that used to throw our children to alligators and crocodiles. All right. These are the same people that used to cut our fingers off on their Sabbath day, which is Sunday. They used to call that pick a N-word day. Hang our people, do things to our men called buck breaking. They used to cut our fingers off and save them for souvenirs and all kind of stuff, and would announce it in their churches that today is pick a N-word day. And they would pick a couple of Israelites and just disgrace them in front of the whole town. And these white people would sit around and just watch it happen. Just like today. Same thing, right? Isn't that what they do? Okay. So it hasn't changed much, y'all. Desegregation hasn't changed anything. If anything, it's getting worse. All right. So she was very angry and sad that a 5-year-old, any human would have to go through that, right? So she never knew her son was going through all of this until he told her after suffering nightmares that these police officers would shoot and arrest him. Okay. They told him they would shoot and arrest him. Then she saw the video. My God, this is just terrible. I got to take time on this because I'm warning y'all. We have to go back to teaching our own kids. It don't take 8 hours for these kids to be in school. They need to learn reading and writing, you know, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Really, those are basically the threes that they need. They could be homeschooled. You could get together with people in your community. And, I've explained to you before, there are Israelite people doing it everywhere where depending on your work shift, you know, um, they may have somebody who has an apartment that's big, or wherever the place that you live, they may have like a place where you can, do activities and things like that. You all could take turns. Whoever has the morning shift, whoever works in the morning, they can maybe teach the children when they get off, or, and vice versa, that type of thing, because we have got to stop sending our children to these institutions because they are not helping them. They're not. And they don't plan to. They don't plan to. It was never built. This country was never built for our people to progress. It wasn't. All right. It was only built for a certain group of people to progress. All right. And their plan is to always keep our people at the bottom. All right. So an officer even urged to beat her son. He wanted to beat after they did all of that to him. He urged the woman to beat her son after they had traumatized him, give him a beating on top of it. So if you stuck on stupid and you just listening to everything that these people say, who are demonic themselves, gotta be, you're going to traumatize your child even more. And that's what they want, so that they can lock your child up, put them in a place where there's no windows. They'll be locked there, sitting for days. And they'll be talking about they're going to detox them, and they're going to give them all kind of things that shouldn't go in the body. As far as liquids and other things, you know what I'm saying, because they put them in there because they freakazoids themselves, okay, doing all kind of nasty things to your children. All right. So the mother said, I can't beat him during the exchange. The officer asked her why. She said, because I'm not going to prison. So the officer said, you don't go to prison for beating your child. Now that's a lie. Good and doggone well, a lot of people go to jail because they disciplined their child. So I'm glad she was smart enough to know better. In another exchange several minutes later, an officer said, you can beat your child in this county, in Montgomery, Maryland. Just don't leave no cuts or crazy cigarette burns or nothing like that, and we're good. What an idiot he is, right? Reflecting on what happened, Grant told the person who was interviewing her, regardless of whether the child is 5 or 15, it's a 5-year-old. Better training. You should not deal with children like that. You should not deal with humans like that. That's what the mother is saying, right? So we counted 19 times where one or both officers threatened a beating in some manner of the child. That's what they did in slavery, or suggested that he should be beaten 19 times in front of him during the entire 51-minute video. All right. So I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but this is what I'm telling y'all. Get your kids out of this system immediately. Immediately. Stop putting your kids in jeopardy of these schools where these people don't know what in the world they doing. They just going to beat your child to death. And as your child resists, they're going to take your child, put them in some kind of a sane asylum, because they calling them detention places, but they ain't no, it's an insane asylum, a lot of them, and your child will never be the same again. And they will be in and out of prison because they've been programmed to do that. Listen to what I'm saying. And let the Lord give you understanding. Pray about it, y'all. Pray. It's time for us to get together and pray about these things. This is ridiculous. It's terrible. It shouldn't be. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that all of law enforcement is like this. No, it's not. But we're seeing this too many times. So we need to get ahead of this thing and put a stop to it as far as we can. We need to create our own communities again. All right. Stop with calling ourselves all these different names, black, um, what other than colored, African American. How you two continents? No, we're Hebrew Israelites, and we need to be proud of it. Stand strong. We are Israel. All right. And if you don't, you're looking at this and saying uh, you're Spanish or whatever, you don't get it. Look at my other videos and read your Bible, especially your apocryphal books. Read those apocryphal books and even read in Revelation where it tells you Christ was a black man, all right? Is a black man, right? It even tells you in Isaiah what God looks like, all right? These people, God and Christ have, the woolly hair, all right? They all of that stuff was taught from these Jesuits in the Catholic Church, that Christ was this white man, European, and all of this kind of stuff. Y'all stop believing those lies. Stop it. Okay, it's getting worse. So we have to get on top of this stuff. They said that this county is really going wild with all of this going on. It's going on too much. 5-year-old one with one child is too much. But y'all have got to wake up. We got to come together, realize who we are, become the people that God caused us to be. The valley of dry bones is taking place. Wake up, Israel. We got to come together and do what we need to do for not just ourselves, but the generations behind us and all the future generations, all right? Because these are the last days and times before Christ shall return. So make sure you know what that's all about. All right. So now the next thing we're going to touch on is health and wellness. All right. Learn how to safely have your own electricity. That's something we got to work on, knowing how to do that. Okay. Because they keep talking about the grid going down. Remember, they always tell you what they're going to do ahead of time. All right. I don't think it's a coincidence. None of that. It's going to happen. All right. So we got to get ready for this. This is supposed to be one of the coldest winters ever, ever. All right. And the grid probably will go down in different states and in different places. So get ready. Watch your videos, your YouTube videos on, how to make electricity for yourself, what kind of things that, we're going to need, because this is not, it's not good, y'all. It's not. All right. And the business tips for today is do indoor events, how to make your own electricity. Get together with your churches, um, even within your community, your tenants association, your families. Get together, learn how to make this electricity for yourself. There are videos on it. All right. So let's get ahead of that. Let's start doing it. Continue stocking up. I've been telling y'all this for a while, right? Like years, to that we got to start, to continue stocking up the food and whatnot, because the way things are going in this country, it won't be long where, I give it a couple more years and we're really going to start needing to have that food, the electricity, and all of that kind of thing. And the way things are going towards these wars with these missiles and all of that, at some point in time, we will have to leave the country. We will, because war will finally, eventually touch these shores. So don't be fooled by thinking that, oh, well, this is America. It won't happen here. If 9/11 happened here, y'all wake up, smell of coffee. Okay, it will. All right. So don't fool yourself. Get ready. All right. So now we are going to go to our credo. Shemai Yasharala Ahaya Alahaya Nawa. Ahaya Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord our God, he is one. And that's in Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter and the 4th verse. Okay, so now we're going on with Moses, the new leader, and we going again to Jasher, the 81st chapter, the 24th verse. I'm sorry. We'll be starting again from there. And the whole of this camp went and pursued the children of Israel to bring them back to Egypt. And they reached them encamping by the Red Sea, right? Now, the Red Sea represents that crossing we're going to make eventually. That'll happen again. The Lord talks about, I believe it's in Isaiah, where he's going to open up, there's going to be passages made for us to go on through, because this is not our home and we are going to return home. All right, so while we're waiting on Christ, we're going to have to go to different places around the area where he will return and bring us back into Jerusalem, where he will rule and reign. He's not running for office. He's not trying to be the president. He will rule and reign as priest and king. He ain't going to ask nobody. He's not going to have a council meeting. None of that. Okay. He was ordained to be the Son of God and the priest and ruler and king of all. So he will rule the earth from Jerusalem. All right. And we will be his ambassadors. We will go out and help the nations to come back to the Lord. But a lot is going to go down, in between that time. So when we're in the wilderness and all of that, a lot of things we're going to see that we heard about, but it's going to come to pass. Then we're going to see a lot of stuff. All right. So make sure you're around some God-fearing Israelite people so that when it's time for us to leave, we leave together. All right. We come out of different places. We meet up. And once we get in that wilderness, the angels will take over and they will lead us to where we have to go. All right. Now, and the whole of this camp went and pursued the children of Israel to bring them back to Egypt, and they reached them encamping by the Red Sea. And the children of Israel lifted up their eyes and beheld all the Egyptians pursuing them. And the children of Israel were greatly terrified at them. And the children of Israel cried to the Lord. That's how our people did when we would escape from the south to the north. Sometimes we would see the slave catchers and our people would get scared, and that's how that Underground Railroad started and whatnot, and we would run to different people's houses. Thank God some of the Quakers, who are white people, they were against slavery, so a lot of them would help us escape. So thank God for them. They may be Gentile people, but hey, they helped us. Thank God for them, right? So it's not always maybe necessarily going to be our people, because they're after our people, right? So, sometimes God will send people of other nations to your rescue. So just pray and make sure, that the Lord is leading you to trust certain people, right? So, also, and the children of Israel lifted up their eyes and beheld all the Egyptians pursuing them, and they were greatly terrified at them. And the children of Israel cried to the Lord, which we should do continuously. And on account of the Egyptians, the children of Israel divided themselves into 4 divisions, and they were divided in their opinions, for they were afraid of the Egyptians. And Moses spoke to each of them. And the first division was of the children of Reuben, Simeon, and Issachar. And they resolved to cast themselves into the sea, for they were exceedingly afraid of the Egyptians. So they were scared. They were going to throw themselves into the water, because they were scared of the people, right? And Moses said to them, "Fear not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will effect this day for you." So stand still, y'all. See the salvation of the Lord that he is showing to us today. Prepare yourself. Make ready for the Lord. Make straight his paths. Do what the Lord says, because he is going to deliver us as a people, no matter what's going on right now. Handcuffs in hallways, whatever. The Lord is with us. He said, if you be with me, I will be with you. All right. Now, the second division was the children of Zebulun, Benjamin, and Naphtali, right? So, um, and they resolved to go back to Egypt with the Egyptians. They were so scared they were going to go back into the slavery. No, y'all, no. You don't go back to the enemy. But they were scared because the Red Sea was before them and they didn't know, okay, the Red Sea is there. So they see a blocking. They see that they're being blocked, just like today. All right. You see that they're trying to close in on us on different things, finances, everything, right? So you see that blockage, and there's that temptation to go back to what was. We can never go back to the way things were, y'all. We can't do it. We have to move forward. We have to trust the Lord. All right. We have to fast, pray, stay in the word of the Lord, stay in the ways of the Lord, stay with the people of the Lord. All right. So Moses said unto them, fear not, for as you have seen the Egyptians this day, so shall you see them no more forever. So Moses telling them, listen, don't be scared of them. You ain't going to see them no more. Wait till you see what the Lord is going to do. The third division was of the children of Judah and Joseph, and they resolved to go meet the Egyptians to fight with them. Right? So our people, Judah, all right, and Joseph, which would be Ephraim and Manasseh, they represent the tribe of the two tribes of Joseph, right? So they wanted to fight against the Egyptians. They was like, nah, we ain't going for it. No, we're gonna fight. We ain't going back to no slavery. But take my earrings off. That's what you take your earrings off for, sisters. That's when you take your earrings off for. You understand? That's what you take your earrings off for, right? And you put whatever, you put your Vaseline on, whatever you gonna do. Like, yo, we ain't gonna, nah, we ain't doing it. We not. All right. And the fourth division was of the children of Levi, Gad and Asher. And they resolved to go into the midst of the Egyptians to confound them. So they weren't scared of the Egyptians either. They wanted to confuse them. They wanted to go in the midst of them, like, yeah, we back. They wanted to go in the midst of them and confound them, confuse them, right? And Moses said to them, remain in your stations and fear not. Only call unto the Lord that he may save you out of their hands. So we got two divisions that's scared. They running back. They going to jump into the sea and all that. And we got two divisions that's like, no, we ready to fist fight, and the other group, all right. So after this, Moses rose up from the midst of the people and he prayed to the Lord and said, O Lord, God of the whole earth, save now thy people whom thou didst bring forth from Egypt, and let not the Egyptians boast that power and might are theirs. So Moses was always praying that, Lord, don't let these Egyptians get the victory. Please don't let them. You told us to come out of there. We came out. We went to Pharaoh every day. We did what you said. We came out. They's running behind us. Our people, half our people are scared. Half our people ready to throw down. Come on, Lord. Don't let these Egyptians get the victory over us after all this, because there's a lot going on, Lord. Hey, come on, please. Savior. Ahaya Ashar Ahaya. Please. The great I am that I am. Because he told Moses that was his name. My name is Ahaya Ashar Ahaya. I am that I am. Right? So Moses is like, all right, great I am that I am. Come on now. Knock them out. Move them out the way. And so the Lord said to Moses, why dost thou cry unto me? So in other words, the Lord is saying, okay, Moses, I get you. But why are you crying unto me? Speak to the children of Israel that they shall proceed. Like, go get on with the plan that I told you. Come on, Moses, let's go. I made you a leader. You went through all of that, all before you started even telling Pharaoh. I've been telling you to go tell my people that I'm going to deliver them. So get on with the plan that I'm telling you, right? So he says, speak to the children of Israel that they shall proceed, and do thou stretch out thy rod upon the sea and divide it. So there was a rod, the rod of God, the rod that had, I believe Adam even had that rod. It was passed down generations. Finally, it got into the hand of Moses, right? So that rod had been a long way from Adam to Moses. And this is, a lot of things were done with that rod, all right, including in creation when the heavens and all of that kind of stuff. That rod had been in the family for a long time. So the Lord said, speak to Israel that they shall proceed, stretch out thy rod upon the sea and divide it, and the children of Israel shall pass through it. And Moses did so. So after Moses did all this talking to the Lord, and the Lord said, okay, come on, pay attention. Let's go. This is what we got to do. And Moses did so. He caught himself, said, okay. And he lifted up his rod upon the sea and divided it. And the waters of the sea were divided into 12 parts, not like the Charlton Heston movie. No, the sea was divided into 12 parts. For who? The 12 tribes of Israel. It was divided into 12 parts. All right. And the children of Israel passed through on foot with shoes, as a man would pass through a prepared road. All right. They passed through the sea. After the sea had divided into 12 parts, we were able to walk on the ground of the sea, okay? Because underneath the sea, remember, there's dirt. So we were able to walk in our shoes as if we were walking down the street. Now, that don't show you that God's with you. I don't know. I don't know. I've experienced things like that when a dog came to attack me and I screamed up to heaven. Yeshaya screamed up, and that dog couldn't open his mouth. He said, "Woo, woo." But he had been terrorizing the neighborhood. And I seen him one day. I'm coming outside. I said, oh, Lord, there's that dog. And I'm looking for a fence or something to climb up that fence. And I screamed out the name of the Lord. I looked up to heaven, and I screamed out the name of the Lord. And that dog said, "Woo." He came after me. And when I called out the name of the Lord, he said, he closed, like the Lord shut his mouth, and he retreated. He left me, like, I knew it was the Holy Spirit. I knew it was, right? So the waters of the sea divided into 12 parts. The children of Israel passed through on foot with shoes, as a man would pass through a prepared road. And the Lord manifested to the children of Israel his wonders in Egypt and in the sea by the hand of Moses and Aaron. And when the children of Israel had entered the sea, the Egyptians came after them. This is how wicked these people were. If I were these people enemy, and I saw the Lord parted the sea 12 ways for them, I'd have been running back to where I came from so hard. I've been scared, or either I would have surrendered. I've been like, Lord, I'm going to help me. Hallelujah. Woo! Thank you. I would have been Egyptian. I don't know who. I don't know that. I ain't Egyptian. No, I for real. I'd have left them Egyptian people. I've been like, nah, I'm converted. I'm with them. You know. So, and when the children of Israel entered the sea, the Egyptians came after them, and the waters of the sea resumed upon them. See, this is the foolishness. They ran after us, but the Lord made the waters come back on top of them. What did they think he was going to do? If he parted the sea 12 ways, wouldn't that tell you that he's going to kill you? That he's going to let you drown because you're a fool? You know, that's just stupidness, right? So, and they all sank in the water, and not one man was left except Pharaoh, who gave thanks to the Lord and believed in him. Therefore, the Lord did not cause him to perish at that time with the Egyptians. So Pharaoh was the only one that had enough sense to worship the Lord and give thanks, like, okay, you're the God of Israel, you're the God of heaven and earth. All right, he gave worship and thanks. And the Lord ordered an angel to take him from amongst the Egyptians. So an angel took Pharaoh from amongst the Egyptians, who cast him upon the land of Nineveh, and he reigned over it for a long time. So the Lord took him from Egypt and put him in Nineveh so that he could reign over it for a long time, right? And on that day, the Lord saved Israel from the hand of Egypt, and all the children of Israel saw that the Egyptians had perished. So our people saw that the Egyptians died, and they beheld the great hand of the Lord. And sadly, we're going to see more of that. The more these people keep coming after us, the more the Lord is going to show his hand strong. He done already revealed it through the people that nobody thought it would come through. And nothing is going to stop it. Nothing. The Bible said Judah will be the one to start bringing it. And Judah is out there bringing it, right? We're Judah. We listen, we ain't playing, right? So now that it's come out through other sources who we are, there is no, remember that song? Ain't no stopping us now. Remember that song? Well, that's what's going on. There is no stopping us now. The Lord allowed that to come out. Whether those men realize it or not, the Lord used them for this last day and time. He's giving warning to the Gentiles and the Israelites. The Israelites that don't know who you are, it's time for you to figure it out. Get your Bible and read and listen to the preachers and the prophets and the teachers, those of us who are trying to bring the word forth so that you understand who you are. There's no such thing as black people. Black people are not a nation. All right. We are Hebrew by blood and we're Israelites by nationality. And you know, I always go through who we are. Judah, the so-called Negroes. When we got off that boat, they started calling us Negroes, even though we came in on the boat that said Yehuda, meaning Judah. All right. We're from Judah. All right. The Negroes, we're the tribe of Judah. Reuben, the people of color that are Australian. Gad, right? The American Seminole Indians, some of the other Indian tribes. That's the tribe of Gad, North American Indian, right? Asher, right? The people of color that are from Colombia, Brazil, Venezuela, all right? Yeah, they're our brothers and sisters. They're Asher. So as much as they think they're bringing them in to be against us, that's not gonna, it'll seem like it in the beginning, but when they get here, they're gonna get schooled on who they really are. It's gonna be eye-opening, right? Okay, Naphtali, the Isles of Hawaii, the Pacific Islands, the Fiji Islands, the Filipinos, the Vietnamese, all over the earth, but basically these are who you'll see in these tribes. Manasseh, the Cubans, Simeon, the Dominican, DR. That's why they bother y'all about your complexion and all that, because you're an Israelite, sweetheart. You're Israelites, right? Okay, Simeon, Dominican Republic, and Levi, the Haitian. And Simeon and Levi, the reason you don't get along is because the Lord knows that you all have tempers. Because in the Bible, you all wiped out a whole town because they messed with our sister Dinah. All right, that's what happened. All right. Also, Issachar, the Mexicans. Yeah, you're Israelites. Zebulun, Panama, Costa Rica, the people of color from there. Ephraim, Puerto Rico, people of color, Puerto Rican. Benjamin, the West Indians. Okay. We are the Israelites, y'all. I know y'all think that you're not, but you are. We're not, and we're not Africans. We're from the continent of Africa. All right. And the Africans, thank God for them, because when we had to flee our land, when Herkimer and Vespasian and Titus and all of them did all that mess to chase us out of the land, and they started mixing in the Edomites, into the land. And you had all of these, that's when you got the different people mixing in with our people. That's why you started seeing white people there, because they weren't there originally. That wasn't the deal. But they started mixing in, because our people started following the surrounding nations and messed up what was in place. All right. So, and there are Edomites are our cousins. They're related to us by blood, because we come from two brothers, Esau and Jacob. Jacob is us, and Esau are the Edomites, which are some of today's Europeans, not all of them. Right. So, just like not all blacks are Israelites, right? Because we're Shemites, okay? So, and then you have Africans who are Hamites, which is not, wrong with that, long as they love and fear the Lord. They're a Gentile nation of people. Japhites, a lot of the Arabs and different ones, you know, long as they serve the Lord, our God, and do what's right, they're accepted with the Lord. So we don't hate nobody or nothing like that. Matter of fact, when we get back in the New Jerusalem, we are going to bring the people back to the worship and the fear and the admonition of the Lord. So we love everybody. Don't believe the hype when they try to tell you that, oh, Israelites hate people, and no, they don't want us to come back to who we were, because they know the God that we serve. He don't play. He'll wipe you out, right? So this is why whenever we're protecting our own and saying who we are, they have a problem with it. All right. So um, that's what it is because when we say who we are and we tell how we came about and all of that, that puts other groups of people to shame. They don't want to realize what their ancestors did and what they've done today, because I understand now. I hear people saying, well, they have to feed their families, but you don't feed your family on telling another a group of people, another nationality of people, to go against the women of their culture, their nationality, and call them bees and hoes, and that you're not gonna, you know, support them if they don't do this, and have them acting gangster and all of this. We weren't doing that when we were back home as a people. That wasn't who we were. It never was, you know. So yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong, especially if you're calling yourself a people of the Lord. You wouldn't want to come against a people and have them going against each other to see total destruction for that people. That's not a godlike thing. You wouldn't see us as animals, calling us these different names, saying that that's what we are. So we deserve that, and that be in your sacred books that this animal we're these animals and all of that kind of stuff. That's definitely not of God. All right. So yeah, we are going to speak up and say something against it, because we gotta smack the devil and save our people's minds with precept on precept and line upon line. Right. That's what we gotta smack that stuff out of our group of people. We gotta get it out. We gotta get that mess out, right? Because we are a God-fearing, loving group of people. We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot. Look what happened with Dr. King. When he was here, and our people would march back in those days, right? And our people march now today too. But remember, they took out the water hose and would spray our children, sick German shepherds. I've seen the pictures and the videos and everything. Have dogs biting our people and their private part, all kind of wicked, nasty stuff, you know, and then always got the spotlight on us, but never over the wicked things that they do. But shout out to the white people that stand up. I see y'all on social media and y'all be telling the truth. Y'all, the ones that really understand and tell the truth and say, no, what our people do against you all is wrong, and I appreciate y'all for doing that. Just like I said, the Quakers that helped our people when we were escaping from slavery. You know, shout out to y'all, because y'all are for right. You understand what I'm saying? And we will be worshiping together when Christ, you know, comes back and he goes into the land and all of that. We will be worshiping together and serving the Lord, you know, as long as you give your heart and your all and you serve the Lord and all of that. Yeah, we will see you again, you know, once this, you know, because the in the Bible it talks about I saw a new heaven and a new earth, because this earth is messed up. So thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Christ went away to prepare a place for us because there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. All right. And we all gonna be loving and all of that. Ain't gonna be all of this nonsense going on, handcuffing 5-year-olds and you know, and our kids that can't have go down the street without being called the N-word or all of this kind of crazy stuff. None of this, that's not of God. This world is out of order, just as it was before the flood with Noah. And the Lord had to wipe it out because they were just doing the most with the Nephilim, you know, coming due to the angels cohabitating with the women and all of that. So the Lord said again, lest he shorten the days, no flesh will be saved. All right, so join me again. You know, like I said, you can check me out on YouTube, you know, my YouTube channel. Watch me every Saturday, 7 to 8 p.m. on bronxnet.org, channels 951, 2137. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share my videos at the Crystal Jones TV show. Also, check me out on Crystal Jones Pictures and Videos at Facebook. All right. And Instagram, go check out them daily Bible quotes that are inspirational. And Hebrew Connect TV. All right. Check me out, y'all. Kwam Yasharala Kwam, y'all rise up. Tell this, share this. There are people that don't know. Share it. All right. So God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. And you stay balanced.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's got to come home with me. Now anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
But you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a course online.
You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Stop using church intimidation, control and manipulation. Jezebel and all them spirits fall back, not trying to hear it. Go with Jesus, walk in peace. On your pew can sit that beast that we're fighting in the world. I'm that JC Supergirl, Jesus Christ, belt of truth, arm of God, I'm slaying you. Power of the word, two-edged sword. MC Heaven rocks for her Lord. Thought they crept in unaware, didn't see the gatekeeper standing right there, not getting down with your